Hi, thank you very much for being here. This is my 410 Capstone video from Mountain Ocean, terrestrial and offshore late Pleistocene investigations in the Coast Ranges and the continental shelf of Northern California. Let's go ahead and start here. This research proposal is an adaptation of my 2021 Anth research proposal to conduct mitochondrial DNA analysis on accession late paleo fossilized remains and repatriation to tribes. This current proposal includes elements that were considered conceptual during the research phase of the 2021 proposal, but not included. This expanded research methods now included here in 22 investigate research that could potentially expand the understandings of regional and world human migratory patterns. An overview of the first part of these two-part investigations includes the use of some conventional onshore archaeological methods of excavation, sampling, and testing of newly identified late Pleistocene sites under interdisciplinary archaeological methods. The methodologies include mitochondrial DNA sampling, Y chromosome allele mutation plotting to find the last common ancestor, and then cross analysis to the living native community population group. And then repatriation possibly of any remains that are recovered during the course of this field work and later analysis. Also, the obsidian artifacts and of these late Pleistocene sites will also be typed XRF sourced and undergone trace element analysis to identify potential taxa, including late Pleistocene megafauna, as well as carbon-14 analysis to be used as a control dating method against the AMS accelerated mass spectrometer carbon dating. Geoarchaeological methods will be used in the identification of newly located late Pleistocene sites within the study area of the North Coast ranges. Along with field testing, these field excavations will utilize low impact, quick recovery archaeological techniques and a use of a field lab to assure rigorous field analysis. The lab techniques employed in the part one are mitochondrial DNA analysis to find the last common ancestor again, and cross analysis to our live native community contribution group. Viable recovered biosamples in comparison to world homo populations out of Africa and across Asia, and also the carbon-14 dating will be used again as a control. As we move on to the part two testing, in this slide is covered important influence of isostatic uplift on the continental shelf of California and really the entire Pacific coast of North America. Explained by the glaciers as they melted following the last glacial maximum, or LGM, as isostatic pressure rebound on the plate after the massive weight of the glaciation had melted. Because the conditions of isostasy were variable along the coastline, areas have stayed near the same elevation, with some others dropping up to 200 meters and in excess in some places. Locating these late Pleistocene sites possibly off the coast of California within the research area at a current depth of around 660 feet beneath the surface of the ocean. It is of note here that locations of these sites has been hypothesized in regional archaeology for generations in the People in the Americas theory as being just off the coast of California. This site locations on the interior hiatus were subsequently confirmed by the work of Erlandson from UC Santa Barbara and his extensive work in the Channel Islands region beginning in 2007. To be in part two offshore portions of this proposed underwater archaeological field work. Again, interdisciplinary geoarchaeological methods will be used to identify areas with a high potential to retain late Pleistocene evidence of human occupation. Then multi-beam offshore bathymetry that produces seafloor mapping will be used in the location of subsurface anomalies that have a high potential yield or return positive recovery of artifacts of anthropogenic origin. In the sampling of these sites, the use of the remote vehicle or RV will be employed along with the use of the clamshell bucket capture device, also used to increase the probability of positive recovery. In the use at the bottom here in the photo is the use of an airlift dredge. The use of an airlift dredge would be employed also in tandem with the RV to excavate controlled underwater units and include on-vessel wet screening and analysis. This methodology was successfully employed in Montague Bay in British Columbia by Easton's team in 1991. And finally, here we have our underwater mapping of the project area. As you start from the bottom of the purple color, it's a deep ocean at the continental shelf. And up into the blue and light blue regions where the potential sites have been outlined in red, there are actual sites. These are the actual sites that will be targeted for sampling. It is of note here that in the research portion of this proposal, no data was found in this area showing that it's ever undergone mapping or sampling as proposed within this proposed work. The underwater archaeology portions of this field work will utilize RV technology, and once the bathymetry has been analyzed, again, critical geological archaeological methods will be applied along with an accounting of the clinoform action and isostatic uplift, all setting site priority for sampling. Testing can then be conducted by a remote vehicle and wet screen on board the vessel, and later in more rigorous lab settings. With both the Part 1 terrestrial analysis, Part 2 underwater testing to be used in tandem with carbon-14 and mitochondrial DNA analysis of last common ancestor, but also the cross-analysis to our live native community contribution group for cross-identification and repatriation, but also inclusion with the native, in partnership with the Native American communities that are impacted by the scope of this proposed project, and full compliance with state and federal law. And here's my works cited for reference. Thank you very much for being here. This is a very exciting field of anthropology and definitely in regional archaeology that has applications for world homo migration. And just thank you very much, everybody. It's been a really great spring, and thank you for being here.